Hey everybody, thanks for checking out my video. This is David Russell, and I'm going to be showing you my app that I built called River Reporter. So let's go ahead and open up the app. We can check it out. So River Reporter is an application that I built to connect users with useful and current information about public rivers in Colorado. So that kind of information is location information, the current flow rate in cubic feet per second, so the amount of water that's pushing through a river, basically how much water is moving, and 5 days of weather forecasts. So all that information is pretty useful if you want to plan some sort of trip out to a river anywhere in the state. If you are a fisherman, you want to know how much water is moving because then that's going to determine where the fish are staying. If you're a boater, like a kayak or a rafter, something like that, you want to know what the discharge is because you want to know how fast you're going to be moving, maybe which sections of the river are safe, which ones are not. And obviously, all of those people want to know what the weather is going to be because that's going to affect their trip. So this app is a place that you can get everything in one place. That is all current information from the U.S. Geological Survey and AccuWeather. So when we look at the app here, you can see first we've got our action bar up top with the app name, and then we have our three-dot menu. Three-dot menu is going to drop us down to the favorites. We'll get to that in a minute. And then align. Align is going to be basic Google Maps functionality where it's going to center our bearing back to true north. Then moving down, we've got the search bar where we can enter river, town, or an area that we want to go to. That's using Google Maps geolocate functionality. And then we've got the actual map itself. And each one of the markers in blue shows an actual physical location of a USGS river sampling location. So that is an actual building, small building in a lot of cases right next to a river that's checking out temperature and discharge and height of the river and things like that, and it's tracking that information multiple times a day, and that's uploading to the USGS database, which then can be accessed through their API. And they make that publicly available. It's a service, being a government organization, that they provide that's used by guiding services and local agencies and things like that. So I access that information through their API to get the current information, but to get the basic marker location and IDs and names of all of these 300 some locations, that came from a CSV file found on their website. And so when the app starts up, that location information gets loaded into the app, and each one of these markers is created. So we have our basic Google Maps functionality where we can zoom in and out, we can pan, we can change our bearing if we want to, and then we can also align our map back to true north. So if you just wanted to explore the state and kind of find different areas that you could go to, you can do that. And maybe you want to come up here and you want to look up near Silverthorne. You want to click on that marker. Now we have the Blue River. We can see the name right there. Let's go ahead and click on the marker name, and that takes us to our dialog fragment. That is our window for the information. That's really the meat of the app, is right here. So we've got our name up here, then we have a star that's going to add it to our favorites list that we can save for later. We can select and unselect that. Then we've got the flow rate. That information is coming from the USGS. And then we have our forecast, starting with the current day and then moving 5 days into the future. And we get a little phrase about what the weather is going to look like: thunderstorms, partly sunny, mostly sunny, things like that. Then we've got high and low temps in Fahrenheit. And so the flow rate is coming from the USGS API, and that's being scraped from a JSON file that is created when we call that address. And then the forecast is based on the longitude and latitude for that exact location. And this is going to be obviously specific for each location. So let's say that we come to the Blue River often and we want to be able to look at it without having to come back and scroll over to it every single time. We can add it to our favorites. We hit back. Now that is added to our favorites list. We can go back up to our menu, click on favorites, and now we see we've got the Blue River below Dillon, Colorado. We also have the South Platte River. So this is a section in a town called Deckers that I added previously. As you can see, this is a recycler view inside of a dialog fragment. So that's going to add each river sequentially as we go through, and then it's going to also organize it alphabetically so things are easier to find. So we've got those two there. Let's check out another feature and use the favorites list again. So another area, maybe we want to type in another area. Let's say we want to go to Basalt, is a town near Aspen. Type that in, hit enter, and the map centers us right there on Basalt. There it is. And then we get each river near Basalt. And we click here, we see the Roaring Fork. That's a big river. It's got 501 cubic feet per second flow rate. Let's say we want to add that to our favorites list because we want to come back here. And then we see the Frying Pan River near Rudai. And that's a bit smaller of a river. It's going to be at 182, but that's nearby. We'll add that to our favorites. And let's say we want to go down to Durango, for example. Hit enter. Now we're down in Durango, and we can click here for the Animas River, and that's going to load up the information for the Animas. That's got its unique flow rate, its forecast, and we'll add that to our favorites list. And we'll open up the favorites list again, and we can see, there we have it. All of our rivers have been added to our favorites list. And you can see when I kind of pull on it, I haven't added enough yet, but that is going to let us scroll through, and we can really add as many as we want. All of those favorites are stored in a SQLite database, and that's going to persist between sessions, which is obviously a useful feature if you have favorite rivers. So you can log in and basically pull up this window and say immediately, okay, I'm in Denver, I want to go to the South Platte River. Let's click on that. Boom. There is relevant information for that. And now I want to compare and say, I'm not sure if I want to go to the South Platte or to the Blue River. Then I can click on the Blue River and say, wow, that is a lot lower. Probably not going to go there right now. And you can make decisions based on that. We'll go back. And finally, we do not have our individual location on the app itself, because if you want to find where you are and how to get to the river that you want to go to, you can say click on any one of these markers. Let's say we want to go to here. Let's go up to Estes Park and go to the Big Thompson, and we have these buttons down here that will take us to Google Maps and directions respectively, and we can click on those and it'll give us turn-by-turn directions using the location of the river and our current location outside of River Reporter, but I don't think the directions are an important part of this app. It's not really in the scope of reporting on river conditions, but you have that ability if you want it. And so there you have it. There is River Reporter. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'd love to hear your comments about it, and thanks for watching.